Welcome back if this isn't your first time here, and welcome if it is. As I mentioned in my previous video, my name is Elise and I am a Toronto-based ballet teacher. In this video, I'm going to be going through a quick series of exercises and warm-up techniques that you can do before a ballet class. This is by no means an exhaustive list. It's just some quick options that you can choose from if you are finding, like me, your body doesn't snap into things as quickly. For advanced dancers as well, it is very important that you do a warm-up prior to your first couple of exercises, because as we know, even pliés can be tough on the body in the advanced levels. These exercises are intended for people that either don't want to bring equipment to their classes or don't have the means to acquire that. I can also definitely do a second series or do a second video on what types of things I would bring to a dance class to help me warm up or to use throughout the class. So let's get into it. I should mention I didn't include any cardio at the beginning of this demonstration, which is something you should do prior to warming up your muscles. Any kind of activity that's going to increase your heart rate and mobilize the fascia in your body. Fascia is the material that covers all of the muscles, and it can get extremely tense, especially in dancers. I imagine as a dancer, you understand what it feels like to have tight IT bands, and the IT band is one of the thicker parts of bands of fascia that exist in your body, but it does exist all over, and we can warm it up using any kind of active stretching. So that's stretching that's more dynamic. You're moving through the movement rather than holding static stretches, and any other kind of mobilizing workout. So definitely include that before you do any of these. Okay. So I should mention that I like to do my warm-up with no shoes on, which is irregular to many others that wear a lot of clothing to stay warm. But I find after I do my little cardio routine prior to these exercises, I'm already pretty warm. So that's why I'm not wearing any shoes. So right now I'm doing some shoulder mobilizing activities. This is to increase the blood flow to the shoulder area. You'll notice I'm not going to be raising my hand above shoulder height, or my arm above shoulder height rather, because it can be unhealthy to the joint to put too much of that strain on it early in class while your blood isn't flowing as much as it can be in a ballet class. So I was doing the elbow into the center and hand into the center of the body, not crossing the center line. After that, I'll do some turnout activation. So clam is the fastest way to get activation in that area. The option that I'm doing here is a 90-degree angle from my knees. You can also do more of a, like 100-degree angle instead. You can also do some retire draws up. I am doing devant, derrière, and then you'll see a jump for joy in first position. Excellent. Please don't pay attention to my arms there. Oh, girl, what are you doing? Okay. After turnout, I'll move on to hamstrings. You're going to want to put your feet about hip width apart and your hands down back by your sides. You can also place them on your abdomen if that's helpful. Yeah, fix your hair, figure it out. Okay, so you should repeat these more than what I'm doing in this video. This was actually filmed after I'd already done a ballet class, so my hamstrings were quite tired. By stepping your feet apart, as I just did, you're going to get more into the gluteal area to activate the glutes in addition to the hamstrings to find that connection for your future standing leg. There are some variations you can do here by lifting one leg off the floor. That just puts more intensity on the other side of the muscle and gives your hip flexors an additional chance to extend, especially in this position. Yeah, hold that as long as you would like. Ooh, it's tiring. But yeah, you don't want to be getting too much into your hip flexors there, so I find that helps. Next, I'll move on to my feet just to get some feeling into the toes. I'll start here with doming. Now, I don't have the best feet for doming here. I probably should do it more often, but I'm trying to draw up the toes in towards the center arch without curling them under. If you've seen Die Hard, you are not trying to be like John McClane here. Do not curl your toes. Keep them flat. I hope anybody understands that reference, please. So I'll do both feet here because I think, yeah, you can see the arch is a little clearer on this side. Next, I'll move on to doing what's called piano toes. And again, I have very short, stubbly toes, so I'm trying my best with this one, but you're trying to go from the outside in, from the baby toe to the big toe gradually. And you can also do them in reverse. Here, I think I'm just trying to help my big toes out to keep them up. But yes, you can start from the big toe and go out to the baby toe. Next, I'll just do some slow roll downs. Usually I do these with a TheraBand, but you could do them absent as well, or without one as well, I should say. I'm going slowly and in parallel just to establish the proper tracking of my ankle all the way down. So I'm not sickling in or out at this point, no winging at all. I just want to get that traction done. You'll notice I'm also keeping my heel on the ground. If you have any kind of hyperextension, yes, it is important to activate those muscles, like, oh, we're flipping around, but I'm not going into hyperextension at this point yet. Now moving on to clenching and winging. So this is where we can get a little bit more into the ankle joint. So I'm clenching in and winging out. So clench and wing. This helps to strengthen the muscles on the side of the leg, which can prevent injuries, especially on point. It's an old wives' tale that is going to harm your turnout. What is happening? Okay. As I said, this was after like an hour and a half ballet class. If you don't have access to a massage ball, you can get right into your feet with your hands and massage out any kinks that are there, or even if your feet aren't hurting, it's still good to physically feel them to get blood into the area. So you can wring your foot out like I'm doing, like a washcloth. You can simply put your thumbs up the center, down the side, and I think I also do a little calf massage here. Yes, so again, it's just to bring blood flow to the body and get any knots out that you may have. It also feels nice. Here I am in between my toes, massaging in between and pulling one toe joint up and down. I'm just going to mention here, I am sorry that in some of the next exercises you're going to see, I become a headless dancer. I did not realize that my head was cut out of the frame until I got home. So I'm sorry. Let's continue. So now we're standing up. Here I'm going to be doing some more dynamic action of the foot. So I am squatting to rise. This both activates the quadricep muscle at the front of the leg and the calf muscle at the back of the leg, whilst moving your feet in a faster manner than we have yet. I'm also going from side to side to get up onto my standing leg. Please do it more than the 4 times that I'm doing here. Repetition is best. Moving on from there, we want to get into the core. I usually like to save this for last, so it is one of the final muscles that I feel before starting with barre. Yeah, we're moving sideways so you can see some common faults. Please do not put your bum up. Do not put your bum down. Do not arch your back. That's the worst one. And do not get too much into your shoulders. It's not an arm exercise. It's a core exercise. If you're feeling fatigued here, you can also press up onto your hands. So that is more of an arm workout, I would say, and less of a core one, but it still activates your center. I'll also mention here that yes, plank can be tedious and boring, but it is the best way to get into your core without activating the hip flexors, which I like to avoid at all costs. It's my problem area. The final thing I like to do before putting my shoes on is just a little posture check-in. The past couple of months I've been focusing on activation of the traps, so I call them my armpit muscles, pulling from the back underneath the armpits to pull my shoulders down whilst keeping my ribs forwards. We do a little roll through the feet and then on come our shoes. You're going to want to do a couple of plies and rises, a couple of releves, anything that's again going to more dynamically activate the body while wearing your shoes, because it could feel different. Obviously the floor feels different in barefoot or ballet shoes or point shoes if you're going straight into point work, but that's a whole other ordeal warming up before a point class. Here I'm just doing a final check-in with my balance, so hands on the core. My weight is actually slightly back here. I know I'm headless, but oh, that wasn't so bad. But here I think, yeah, I fall over. You can see my rib cage is way behind my body. Yeah, see you later. Here I'm just doing a couple of hip swings, and this is just to loosely get the hips prepared for whatever is coming next. You'll notice I didn't do any static stretching. You should never do that before a ballet class. Always do dynamic stretches. And there you have it. I hope that this was helpful to you, and as always, if you have any suggestions for what I can do next or how I can do better, please let me know. Thank you so much. See you next time.